Okay, take it
We
from
got
the
a lot of
top.
background noise.
I'll mute them. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, take it
There we
away.
go. Leave the rooster. Bitcoin price sets new all-time high, approaching $4,900, and this was posted today on CryptoCoinsNews.com. A couple other headlines there that I thought were very interesting. AMD GPUs sell out in 5 minutes. They released a new card, a new chip, and all the miners bought them right up in 5 minutes. They got the whole things. And all the gamers are really ticked because the gamers want those GPUs because they need them to play their games, to do their graphics, right? So there's this real battle between the miners for the GPU stuff for Ethereum and for the gamers who want them for their games. And so if you ever get a chance to read the article, one of the things they talk about in there, some of the miners are actually chartering 747 aircraft and so they can fly the cards over. They don't have to wait for shipping. That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. Well, this is a new world, that's for doggone sure. And let's get the party started here by getting our message up. There's our landing page screen. We want to make sure that everybody has access to that. We're here to answer questions for people. What we're trying to do is support a team of people who are trying to help grow the Bitclub. The Bitclub is a mining program in which you can refer people and you get referral fees as a money finder if you get commissions done on a binary basis so that you can actually build some form of a residual income, not only from the mining, but also from the referral of capital to the club to build the pool. So if you want to connect with us, you can connect with us on Skype, which is on the screen here has the video. If you see any of our video recordings, you can actually see all this stuff there because it's kind of hard to read everything. The website link is there, our email link is there, but we're always going to want to know who referred you because that's what we're trying to do is help our team grow. And it's important to help the different team leaders as they refer people. What we want you to know too is that we make every effort to ensure that we accurately represent the products and services of Bitclub and the potential for economic gain. Earnings or Bitcoin cash flow statements made by the company or any of the members are just estimates of what you can possibly receive. There is no guarantee that you will make these levels of Bitcoin, and you accept the risk that earnings and the Bitcoin income possibilities differ by individual because it depends on what you do. You can be very active here, or you can just be very passive. The examples are not to be interpreted as any kind of guarantee, promise, representation, or assurance. And we do not purport Bitclub as being a get-rich-quick scheme, because it certainly is not. All that said, just put in what you can afford to lose so that you're not worried about it. We don't have any lack of confidence in the Bitclub. In fact, one of the reasons that we're here is because we are very confident about the program. We've been looking for this for a long time, and we have lost a lot of Bitcoin by going into a lot of these get-rich-quick kind of things where they promise you high interest rate earnings and stuff, and we don't. None of that's here. This is a long-term program, and it will mine for the rest of your life. So just put your toe in the water, check it out, get comfortable, and then dive in. We want you also to know that a little history of Bitcoin started in 2008 when Satoshi Nakamoto wrote his white paper. That was about the time we had the kind of worldwide crisis in the banking system. And we needed some way to have an alternative currency, just like the presidential candidate Ron Paul had suggested. Provide people with an alternative currency and let them choose. They can use the fiat money or they can use the alternative. And frankly, that's what's happened. And Bitcoin became the first decentralized worldwide currency that is not controlled by any government or institution. And people love it. Now, this isn't money. The governments are trying to say that this is a form of property, but money is something that's created by a government and issued by that government and managed by that government. And this has nothing to do with any government. All they're trying to say that they have control. Bitcoin is sent to the internet from person to person. You don't need any third party. You don't need any banks because there's no need to guarantee anything. The system automatically creates the guarantees of itself. So it's safe, fast, and it's anonymous. Not totally now. I mean, if somebody wants to find you and track you and they've got all the bucks in the world and time, and they may be able to find who you are to do transactions, but when you send it, it doesn't have any names on it. It's just internet addresses. So anyone can set up a Bitcoin account because it's not a bank. See, banks have requirements. You have to be a certain age. You have to sign a contract. You don't have to do that here because Bitcoin is just an app. So they don't have any fees, they don't have any chargebacks, and we don't look at any borders. That Bitcoin in one country is the same value as it is anywhere on the planet. So Bitcoin is a technology, it's a protocol, and it's a network. It's a distributed network. But Bitcoin is not a company. It is not centrally controlled. It is not proprietary. The code is all open source, and it's not bound to any jurisdiction. So you use it as you will, and use it. We think it's fantastic. Now, who uses Bitcoin? Well, a lot of companies do. It's hundreds of thousands of them now. Some of them are on the screen. Fiverr, Gift, which is a gift card kind of a program where you can buy people gifts, but you can also use those cards for your personal needs. If you need cash cards and stuff, you can put Bitcoins on one of the cash cards, and you can just use it like any ordinary debit card. Shopify, Cheap Air, Expedia, Dell Computers, Tiger Direct Computers, Newegg Computers, all of these companies. And in July, Japan declared it a currency. 260,000 merchants signed up immediately to offer Bitcoin enabled payments. Australia, not to be left out, followed Japan's example right afterwards and said they were going to do the same thing. You've got India coming on board. You've got China coming on board. Russia's confused. One minute they like it, the next minute they don't. But I'll tell you what, the people really like it. And Nigeria has already stated clearly they cannot control Bitcoin. You can't do it. There's no way to control it, even though these governments are going to try. But, they got to do what they got to do, and we're going to do what we got to do. Now, the only thing I hear about Bitcoin is if I can't get to the internet, I can't get my coins. Well, if you can't get to the internet, you can't get your bank either, right? Because you go to an account on the bank, you get that online. You use a debit card, you use a credit card, or any form of transfer. If the internet is down, you can't get there, right? You worry about that? Does that stop you from opening up a bank account or having a debit or credit card that uses fiat currency? Heck no. This is just the same thing. It's just a different kind of account. That's all. All right, so sending and receiving money around the world in 2014, there were $54 billion in fees that people paid just to move money from point A to point B. And those were through PayPal, Citibank, MoneyGram, Bank of America, and all the other banks that are around the world, Western Union, things like that. If they had just used Bitcoin to do that, the maximum cost for miners' fees, which is minuscule, would be around $5 billion instead of $54 billion. That's real money that people could have in their pocket to do with what they will and take care of their needs. For some reason, they had to send it, and they paid the fee. Now, what you see on the screen here now is sending and receiving, but only for pennies. BitPay, Blockchain, Airbits, CoinTrader, BitGo, Zappo, all of these companies are ways that you can transfer value from one point of the world to another. And we use that. We use that for some friends that were in a hurricane down there in Australia, that Category 5 that came aboard in Queensland. And they were devastated, just like the hurricane that hit Houston. Both of those are very, very bad situations, and they needed some way to get some funding, some cash. They asked us to send them some Bitcoin. We could literally hear the beep on our account fly to their account, and the beep that they got it was almost instantaneously. They almost overlapped each other. Just that fast. No borders, didn't have to make any applications, didn't have to go through any governments. We were able to send them funding immediately. And that's one of the beautiful things about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin network. Now, the way this thing works is that there are a group of computer owners called miners. Now, the club is a miner, and everybody who's a participant in the club is a part owner of the miner because you have machines in there. We actually have you machines. This is not cloud mining. This is not where somebody else owns the machines and you're leasing those machines for the mining. No, you actually own the machines. Now, every 10 minutes, we have to create a block in the blockchain. Now, when it first started back in 2009, 2010, the reward for a miner, going out and setting up the mining operation was 50 Bitcoin. So every time he created a block in that 10 minutes time frame, he received new coins to be released to the network, 50 Bitcoins. Plus he got the fees. Now, after the first 4 years, that was cut in half, and it cuts in half every year to 2140. So the second 5-year period, 4-year period, it was 25 Bitcoins was the award. And now in July of 2016, it cut in half again, and now it is 12.5 Bitcoin as the reward. But what compensates the miners for the reduction in the amount of Bitcoin that they're receiving are the fees, the small fees that they charge because of the increased usage. So they're still generating quite a bit of cash flow in order to do these mining operations and validating the blockchain and making sure all the transactions go through. And you can see on the gold line in the graph that the Bitcoin release value is going down, 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 down. The last coin will be mined in 2140 when I'm 192 years old. But on the black line at the bottom, while it shows usage and price is very low in the early years, as people began to want to use Bitcoin more and more and more, by the 8th year of the program, the Bitcoins were selling for around $400. And now from that 8-year period into 9 and 10, we're already at almost $5,000 a coin, $4,900. That's because there's such a demand for usage of the coin. People like this, and it's very functional, very useful. And so people want to do it. Now, the chart that I'm showing here is showing you the increasing chart of the increasing usage of Bitcoin. And you can see that the slope is about 45 degrees. But if you move up the line a little bit and you draw a slope again, it's almost 60 degrees or higher. I mean, it's just going vertical. There's so many people coming on board. In fact, the whole world is rushing to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin and blockchain, the technology that allows Bitcoin to operate and has spawned all kinds of other coins, valid coins. There are some out there that are not really valid coins. They're still stuck on a database technology. But these decentralized distributed coins that are mined and created like Ethereum and like Zcash and Monero and just, hundreds of others. You can go on to any one of these exchanges and you can see just how many different coins there are out there. It is a technology whose time has come, and I think this is very much like the invention of the railroads, of electricity and radio, and happening all at one time, all of it showing up. It's going to change society and the way we do business forever. You are going to need Bitcoin, and the best way to get it is to be part of the mining operation. Now, the next thing that this chart shows is what's called the difficulty chart. And notice that the graph is very similar. It's very small here, but you'll notice that it's very similar in kind of the shape of the usage. And what happens is that the algorithms that are required get more difficult to solve as there's more usage and there's fewer coins and more people using them. And so what happens is the computer has to make billions of guesses in order to solve the problem. Now, the miner who solves the problem first and gets the block inserted into the chain is the one who gets the awards. It's just that simple. And this will continue on into perpetuity. Now, if you're going to mine and you're going to get involved with Bitcoin, there are some different ways to go about doing it. You can join the club, which is what we think is the best way to do it. But there's 2 other ways you can do it. You can go with companies that are set up and they say that we will sell you a machine and you will mine forever. You pay one time for the machine and that's it. Well, there's a problem with that. You've got to have the biggest, baddest, fastest computers in order to keep up with the increasing difficulty of solving the problems and getting the awards. If you don't, the value of being able to generate any Bitcoin for yourself goes down, down, down with time. Can't have that. These computers have to get up to speed and do the job, or it's not worth doing because it's just way too expensive to use the power cost. Power cost is very important in determining whether or not you're going to be able to do mining. The other kind of a mining program out there is called cloud mining. This is where companies set up machines, they manage them, they purchase them, and they lease that machine to you for a certain period of time. Now, that has to be renewed. See, Bitclub doesn't have to be renewed, but you have to renew the cloud mining system. And you think you're going to get it for the same price that you originally started with after the mining period? No, not at all, because they had to buy newer computers, and they also have to have ones that are much more powerful, and the price of Bitcoin is going up. So there are a couple problems with those methods. However, Bitclub has solved that problem completely because As the math gets more difficult and the equipment becomes outdated, the way we do it is you buy a pool, part of the pool. It's one big pool. There are 3 pools. Pool number 1, 2, and 3. So you buy one of those pools, or all of them. You make a one-time payment for a share in the pool. Now, why are we different? Well, what happens is that the mining money that's generated through the machines pays for the operation of the pool, so everybody is paying for the pool, so they have no debt. The other thing is we have a repurchase agreement. We take some of that mining money and we put it back into partial share acquisition for you so that you're always acquiring additional mining power. What does this do? Well, the contracts run for 1,000 days. You begin doing your mining and you begin generating some partial shares. Partial share is 2.5% in value of the pool value. So if you got a $500 pool, it would be a small share, 2.5% of the $500. The $1,000 pool would be 2.5% of the 1,000 and 2.5% of the 2,000 for pool number 3. So what happens is those partial shares go into full shares, and each one of those has 1,000-day mining going with it. So you begin to layer your mining. So first year you're mining at a certain level, and then you've got all those partial shares. So next year you're mining at more than a full share. The third year you're mining at more than a full share, maybe 2 shares, 3 shares. And over time, and for the rest of your life, this process continues. You never have to put any more money into that pool again, and it will mine for you for the rest of your life and for your children's lives. As long as the thing is operational and we're using Bitcoin and we're doing mining, it will continue on and you can pass it on. Pretty neat system. Now, some people say, oh man, I can go over here and I can get all these Bitcoins generated right now. Well, maybe you can. But what's going to happen down the road? How are you going to keep it up? It's a very, very difficult problem for people because there is an alternative here. In other words, to buy the founder position, which is the one position that we have, we just allow you to purchase each pool individually if you want. It's $3,600. You could take that $3,600 and go buy stocks. You could go play in the Forex money market speculation. You could speculate on metal, right? Gold and silver, whatever it would buy. But that's kind of gambling. Stocks are risky. Nobody in his right mind today is in these stock markets. It's all the institutional clients and stuff like that. It's not the small guys. Very few of them are participating in it. Trading is very thin. If you want to get into Forex, that's gambling. You know, most people lose when they gamble. Most people don't win. And so that's not really a great idea because you got a lot of risk. You got to worry about what's going to happen. You don't have that with the Bitclub. You could buy metal and sit on it. Well, Bitcoin's already worth about 3 times what gold is. I mean, where would you rather be? And what are you going to do with gold? You can't eat it. You can't move it around. You can't shave it. If you got a gold coin and you're trying to go to buy some groceries and coin's worth maybe $5,000-$10,000 and they're only giving you $250 worth of groceries. How do you pay for that with that big coin? You're going to give them the whole coin? Of course not. And if it's hard times and there are people standing around and they see you got gold coins in your pocket, are you going to make it back to your car? Are you going to make it home? I don't know. I don't want that risk. Another thing you could do is take that money, you just go buy some Bitcoin right now with it. You could get what, about 2 coins? So something less than a coin actually, because it's $3,600 to join the mine, but it's a Bitcoin right now is like 4,800 and some dollars, almost 4,900. You can't even get a full Bitcoin anymore. So let's go buy the Bitcoin or what you can, and you sit and hold it for 10 years. Well, what do you have? Nothing. Did it go up in value? It sure did, but you don't have any more Bitcoin than you had before. The solution is to buy and own a piece of the mine so that it mines for you forever, so you accumulate Bitcoin, because the mine never looks at the price of Bitcoin. It only looks at the mining function, and that's what you pay for. Okay, so that's why we like the Bitclub program, because it makes it easy for everybody to participate and you can get as much mining power as you want. And the system will automatically, through the partial share program, continually build yourself up and up and up in partial shares and increase your mining power over time. And everybody's always contributing to the increase in the value of the machines, because you've got to have the best machines. Now, what I'm showing you here is a picture of a pool. This is the very beginning. This is pool number 1, and it was a very large building, kind of like a little aircraft kind of carrier. I mean, the aircraft hangar. And now we've grown out of that. This picture here that I'm showing you is the way that the mines look now. and there's more machines in there, and the newer machines are so much more efficient electricity, so power cost has gone way down. Plus, this facility is in Iceland. It's cold there originally, and power is very low. We've got other facilities. We've got some in Russia. Russia's cost for electricity is 1.3 cents a kilowatt, very low. China is also low. So we also have some other facilities. Everything is all backed up 100% of the time. Can't lose anything. Very cheap for power. Now this picture here, you can go onto blockchain.info and it shows you who's doing the mining. If their name isn't listed here, they're not mining at a profit, because there are programs that have contacted us and said, listen, why don't you join our program here? We're doing this, we're getting this much Bitcoin, et cetera, and we're mining. Well, we came over here to take a look and see if we could find them, and their name was nowhere to be found. That means they're not mining. You can't mine if you're not making a profit, because you can't pay for the expenses and you can't buy the machines that you need to buy. So if somebody says they're mining and their name isn't on this chart, run. go find one of us. Better yet, you can see Bitclub Network is right there. Now, Bitclub Network didn't exist over 3 years ago, and they came from 0 to the top 5% of the miners in the world, soon to be the largest miner. We're acquiring computers at a great rate. Club is growing fantastically all around the world. People like this concept because it's limited investment and unlimited earnings. Fantastic. People that are involved in it are guys like this, Winklevoss twins. There's Richard Branson from England. You know, he's into everything, airlines and videos and movies and all that kind of stuff. There's Mike Tyson, the boxer. You know, you can't be a boxer forever. You got to have some way to perpetuate your income, and he did it with Bitcoin. He's big in Bitcoin. Ashton Kutcher, an actor, he's the same way. He got into Bitcoin, so there he is. You know, he's going to have, that's better than any movie residuals, I think. And then, of course, there's old man Gates. He's there. He's in the middle of everything, since he was pretty big in the computers himself and he's pretty wealthy. Why not get into the whole program? The other guy there is Bernanke, Ben Bernanke, former federal chairman of the Federal Reserve, USA, and he likes virtual currencies. And all of these central banks like currencies because they want to get rid of cash. Cash is a problem for them. You know, it's inefficient, it's messy, can't control people. That's the problem. They don't like that. Now look at all these top banks. They can't ignore Bitcoin, and all of them are rushing to invest in it. UBS, HBSC, Credit Suisse, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Barclays, all over the world, banks are rushing to Bitcoin, and they're also rushing to blockchain. But did they send you a notice and say, hey, listen, you know what we're doing? We're looking at Bitcoin. You ought to take a look at Bitcoin too. We think that's the way to go. Heck no. They didn't want you to know what's going on. They didn't want you to be involved. Now here's the picture of the ecosystem of the companies that are involved pretty much in Bitcoin and programs. So you've got the companies in a software circle, and they kind of overlap. Then you got the mining companies. Then you have the hardware companies that make the computers. Then you have the custodial operations, where some of these act even like trust companies. And then you have exchanges where you can buy, sell, and trade Bitcoin. And then in the middle here, you've got all these other assorted companies that are involved in some way dealing with Bitcoin, like localbitcoins.com. This is a worldwide program where you can find somebody locally who will sell you Bitcoins. Pretty handy. You really want to see if you can find somebody local to help you acquire Bitcoin. Now, one of the things that people like about using Bitcoin is just the convenience of it, because you can do everything with your phone. You can have a wallet on your phone. You can pay through your phone. You just use QR codes, and you can transmit. Andreas Antonopoulos is the guy who is really the guru on this thing. He has done nothing since 2008 but study Bitcoin, and he goes around the world teaching and lecturing and explaining it to governments, to individuals, to educational institutions. And he teaches it all the time. But you can go on YouTube and you can find videos by Andreas Antonopoulos, and the guy doesn't have anything to sell except his knowledge. So anything he's talking about there is not pitching you any one particular thing. He's explaining the whole concept of blockchain and the information that's involved in it, what you need to know. You can trust what he says. This guy really knows what's happening. And that's where you want to go to get a lot of information. We think he's the best. Now, what I'm going to show you here is why the Bitcoin will be more expensive in the future, why it's going to, value is going to increase. So we've got a market cap of Bitcoin right now in excess of $70 billion. That's more than the PayPal company around the world. You know, PayPal was a big splash on the scene. But in 3 years, Bitcoin has gone way past PayPal. Now, what's going to happen is that more and more companies are going to be doing all of their sales and stuff. Now, Amazon.com, which is a worldwide company, they did $88 billion in 2014. They paid about 3% transaction fees for transmitting money in different places. So it cost them $2.6 billion a year in transaction fees. They net about $1 billion a year in profit. So if they just eliminated all those transaction fees, which they can do with Bitcoin, they would double their profit. See, isn't that a big enough incentive? But that 89 billion cash flow going through Bitcoin, in addition to the 70 billion, would place it at about over $10,000 a coin already, because that $89 billion cash flow would increase the value of a Bitcoin to $6,300, plus the 48 or something now puts it well up above $10,000 a coin. Okay, so let's add something else. What if we talk about the international remittance market? What is that? Then, well, that's people from different places sending money to family and friends around the world, buying things around the world, companies doing business around the world. It's a real problem going through all these banks because they slow things down and they want to know everything that you're doing. Who gave you that money? Why are you sending it to that person? How do you know that person? I mean, it's just 20 questions, and nobody likes it. And it's very expensive. Western Union will charge about 20% or more just to do a transaction. Well, if you add that $600 billion of value going through Bitcoin, it increases the value of the coin by $42,800 USD. That's huge. Now we're well over 50,000 a coin. You see that? Well, the whole world is rushing to this. If you look at the gambling industry, it adds another 2142 to the cost. Petrol stations, they charge about 2% fee. It would eliminate the fee. And the US just by itself consumes about 65 billion gallons of gasoline every year, which runs around $234 billion. Well, if that $234 billion was all going through Bitcoin, it would add another $34,400 to the value of Bitcoin. You see how there's no possible way that the Bitcoin price is not going to go up in value. So do you think you should own some Bitcoin? Yes, you should own some Bitcoin. And that doesn't include the gambling industries and the gaming industries. It's just on and on. Now, Tim Draper, a venture capitalist, in 2014 said, and he was kind of laughed at, that a Bitcoin would be worth over $10,000. And people just thought he was joking, you know? He's low. He's not even close. It's going to be, shortly, it's going to be well over $100,000. Max Kaiser, one of the well-known economic commentators, is already calling for trillion-dollar coins. You know, right now you can get whole coins doing this. You're not going to be able to get whole coins in the future. So you need to get in and get ahead of the game here and start joining the program so that you're going to be able to enrich yourself. Truly, there are going to be multimillionaires made here simply just getting involved with Bitcoin, but you've got other altcoins that you can get involved with as well. And you can use the Bitcoin to acquire them. See, everything starts with Bitcoin anyway. All these other coins are derivatives of the Bitcoin system. And they're making changes so that they do different things. So why not participate in all of it? Because through the mine, we also mine Ethereum, Monero, Zcash, and I think that any others that are going to come along that are going to be profitable for us to mine, we're going to mine. And as a member of the Bitclub, you get to participate in all that technology. So you don't have to come in again. You don't have to buy anymore. Okay. Well, you do have to change the pool. There's the Bitcoin pools, and then there's the GPU pools. So you would have to get a GPU pool. That's all you'd have to do. Here's a picture of the other industries out there. The network marketing industry is 167 billion. Organic food products is 91 billion. Movie industry is 80 billion. And it just goes on and on and on. You know, we just talked about a few different industries, and we've already shot way past 100,000 on the coin. Now, something that CoinPay came out. This is what Bitclub does. They develop other technologies, not just the mining. So as long as you're a member of Bitclub, all the technologies they develop, and the newest one is called CoinPay, you get to participate in. You don't have to put in any more money. It's pretty cool, though. CoinPay is a revolutionary way to pay for goods and services. It competes directly with all the credit cards, debit cards, and other methods of transmitting funds around the world. How does it work? It's an application. That's all it is. They give away the application to a merchant. You, as a member of Bitclub, can go out and sign up merchants to use it, and you get 50% of the transaction fees, as long as that merchant is using it. But the max transaction fee is only 1%, which really reduces the cost for the merchant. Plus, the merchant doesn't have any chargebacks, he doesn't have to wait for payments, and he doesn't have to pay those high fees to these banks. And Price Waterhouse, one of the largest accounting firms in the world, says 88% of the banks are really very concerned because they don't know how they're going to replace their fees. So that's one of the reasons they're rushing to the blockchain technology to see if they can introduce new products. But back to CoinPay. Here's what happens when you use CoinPay. You have coins and you want to use those to buy goods and services. So you show up to a merchant. He's got the CoinPay app. He gives you a QR code to pay from. Use your phone to, and your wallet is on the phone. You got a Bitcoin wallet on your phone. It reads the QR code. It sends the payment. Done. Transmission. Funds go directly from your account to the merchant account. No third party, no banks, nothing's required. You can even ask them to give you some fiat. So let's say, for example, that you needed a couple $100 for something. Well, you could write over, you could send more than the amount of the thing, and he can hand you the cash. And he's very comfortable doing it because he gets instant payment in his account and he has no chargebacks. See, right now, through the Visa cards, through the MasterCards, through the American Express, you can file claims for chargebacks. They can buy something, you can come back and say, hey, that's not right, I didn't get it, that's wrong, I want that's not my money. Send it back to me. So this is going to be a revolutionary technology. We think that one of these large companies is going to want to buy it. If you join Bitclub now, right now, when you join with all three pools, you get 2,000 shares of that company. CoinPay. It's already in existence. It's based in Hong Kong, got a CEO and everything, and it'll be released after the first of the year. So prior to that time, they're offering bonus shares in CoinPay for people who sign up and take all the three pools. It's called a founder position. That's going to change very shortly. Pretty soon, you're not going to get 2,000 shares. You're going to drop it to 1,000. Okay, to join Bitclub, all you need to do is get back to the person that referred you. They'll help you get signed up. And it's a $99 one-time membership fee. And then you buy any one of the pools, $500, $1,000, or $2,000 pool, $3,500 for the founder position, plus you get the 2,000 shares and you get the Coins Club. They have their own coin that they created called Club Coin. And unlike all of the other providers out there, they don't charge you for it. They give it to you. They give it away. It's part of the CoinPay system. And when you also get 50 Club Coin when you sign up as a founder. Okay, now this is what the pool looks like when you go online. It shows you the different pools, and all you have to do is press the button to buy one. And that's it. So let me show you a couple other things that are not a part of the actual presentation. I wanted to show you what it looks like in the back office when you do repurchases. So now this was a pool that we started. This is a $500 pool here. This is pool number 2, the 1,000, and pool number 3. And we started this on June 8th of 2017, and you see we have 925 days left of mining. We bought these a couple days later. These two have 947 days left, each one share. See that? Now, since that time, we've been mining, and we've been using it to get additional shares so that we increase our mining power. So right now in pool number 1, we have 119% of a share value mining for us. And it's growing. You see, it starts off kind of slow, but look at this. This is every 6 to 8 days, we're getting new partial shares. And this will just keep going forever and ever and ever as long as we want to set it up this way. And it's a great way to generate a lot more Bitcoin for yourself and generate a perpetual income of Bitcoin. It's fantastic. Best alternative. This is the best alternative for anybody that's trying to protect your pension. And banks and companies around the world have underfunded their pensions, and people are not going to be able to get the money they're counting on. How do we know that? Because they're already cutting pensioners. There's a lady here in Loyalton, California. She had a $49,000 a year pension. She got a notice that, hey, we never got the money from all the people that were supposed to pay in. They didn't pay. Government didn't pay. They didn't put the money in the account. Can't pay it out. We're cutting your pension 60%. You're only going to get $19,000 now. You know, that's just a betrayal of the highest order. And so another thing these organizations and governments are doing is they're increasing property taxes to pay for the stuff they didn't take care of that they were supposed to take care of in the first place. Well, who should be paying for that? I have an opinion about that. I think the guys that allowed underfunding and didn't run the government properly ought to fork over their assets and pay for it. But anyway, that's just me. But they need to do something, and this is something everybody can do, and it is going to just go nothing but up in value, and I showed you why. Because the whole world is rushing to it. All my career at 43 years in financial planning, I never looked at any kind of an investment program other than, is money coming into this or is money going out of it? I didn't look at little details and stuff. I didn't try to micromanage it, and I didn't want anything that was going to be complex, because people don't have time for complexity in their life unless they're focused in, this is a hobby or there's something they want to do. But this is the largest thing that has ever happened since the Industrial Revolution. And it's a major change, and you are right now in the front of it. It's happening while you were here. What if you bought a couple hundred shares of Microsoft back then, and all those other companies that exist, Google, when it came out? You'd be multimillionaire by now. Same thing's happening here, only on a bigger scale, a worldwide scale, not just a country scale. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, you can always go to the real hash rate. This is the current one. This is a live hash rate here. This shows all the companies that are doing the mining. Here's Bitclub Network over here right now. They're doing 4.1%. The Bitclub pool, which shows you the mining. Is it coming up? There it comes. Okay, we're well over 300 petahash now. See, we started down here about 200, 220 when we got in the thing, and they've been adding computers regularly. They buy between $10 and $20 million worth of computers every single month. And by the end of the year, they're going to have all those computers installed, will be well over 500 petahash, which is a very big number. It's way more computing power than Google even uses to run its worldwide operations. And that's what I mean. In order to handle the way that this stuff is running, you've got to have equipment to do it. And the new nitrogen-based cooled computers, you can't run in your back room. You can't run like you saw those other ones. They're in special environments that's got to be sealed, and they're only the size of a desk. It's amazing. You can always use BlockTrail to follow what Bitcoin is doing, because you can actually see the actual blocks and when they got them. So if we take a look, here is the last 24 hours, because you get paid mining profits every day. So 19 hours ago, they got a block. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, today they've already gotten 8 blocks. That's pretty good. And you can go right and see their wallet too. Now, the other thing I want to show you here is this is a chart that shows you all the people that are actually putting money in the investments into the blockchain technology. And boy, are there a lot of people in here. There's Richard Branson right there. There's his name, the Virgin Group. Okay, I don't know these other people down here, but if we go down a little bit, we've got Bank of America, we got HSBC, we got SBI, we got Banco Bradesco, Barclays, we have Ing, it's an insurance company. We got Wells Fargo, UBC. You just keep looking. Here's Andreessen, Thomson Reuters, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo again. It just goes on and on and on. See, when I go down to the bottom and I add all this up, what I want to show you down here is in 2012, there was only $2 million worth of investment going in. And in 2015, there was 490 million. So every year it's gone up substantially. In all of 2017, we've only got part of it here. It's already over 349 million. When you add it all up, you got $1,799,000,000 that's going in here. This is not a fluke. This is to show you the magnitude of what's going on and how much capital is flowing into putting everybody into the blockchain system. That means people are going to be losing a lot of jobs because they don't need escrow officers. They don't need real estate agents anymore. They don't need clerks for processing data and keeping records. The blockchain will do it all, and they don't need any people. That means there's going to be a lot of people out of work. A lot of companies like that idea too, because they underfunded their pensions and they don't want to have to come up with ways to get the money so they can get rid of people. That's where it's going. Okay, now this is just a look at the back office. We just want to show you, we've been doing this since June. See, this is just from June to July 16th. And we cycle. In other words, we got a binary structure for the funding that's coming in, and we got a unilevel structure made out of those same people that are in the binary. And every time we get 15 credits on each side of the binary, one on the left and one on the right, it pays a bonus of $200 in Bitcoin. And this stuff just keeps coming. And when people in our team get a bonus on a cycle, we get a $10 payment. I'm told that that's going to get to be very big. But anyway, there's a $200 bonus, 400, 200, 200, 400, 200, 1,000, 800, 200. That's just on the binary side. Then we also have the unilevel side where we see some compensation and some commissions based upon what other people have done on our team for mining. We get to participate in. When we refer people, we get a commission for referring them that we brought new money to the pool. And we also get a little piece of what they're doing. Okay, somebody's getting a little piece of the stuff that we're doing. It's upline. And this is a way for everybody to get into the pool and also generate more Bitcoin for themselves, because everything you get is paid in Bitcoin. Okay. And there's even another thing here, what's called the infinity commissions. You get a 1% ongoing commission of everything that you bring in. And these are small. This is 13 cents, 37 cents, 14 cents, 26 cents, but it comes every day. Now, it doesn't hit the account every day because they manage their processing power. But all of a sudden, we'll end up with another 5-10 pages of commissions, and it'll be one of these things show up, and they show you everybody for the last 2 weeks or week or whatever it is. But this is a way for everybody to participate in the revolution that's going on and be able to get into Bitcoin in a very safe, limited way that they can actually compound and increase by working together as a big, giant team. We think it's fantastic. We think it's the best way to do this because it's permanent, long-term, and you can literally build yourself a beautiful pension here. And if you have a pension and you're not going to get it, this is a way for you to offset those losses painlessly. The alternative is not thinkable. All these people not getting anything they were promised or they worked for, and people losing their homes because conceivably they can raise these property taxes to exceed the value of your property. What are you going to do then? Keep the property? I don't think so. And what if your pension's cut and you lose your property at the same time? That's a very real possibility. I remember in California a few years ago, back in the early 80s, when they started passing some legislation to try to keep the property taxes from escalating, people were losing their homes because property taxes were going so far up, the retirees couldn't pay for them. It's not a joke. This is very serious business. Anyway, I think that's everything. We've gone about an hour, so let's open it up for questions and answers and see if there's anybody that wants to talk about anything.
What does a block consist of?
A block is a certain data size. And so that's what the computers are trying to figure out, how to maximize and get as much into that block as possible. And they figure out the size, and then that's put into the ledger. But it's going to have all the data. It's going to have the data of the transactions. You're going to need to go talk to Andreas and listen to some of his videos because he gets into great detail about what a block is. And then a couple other introductions to Bitcoin that talk about what's actually made up of a block. But basically, it's a block of data size that's added to the ledger. I hope that answered your question.
Okay. Michael Seeley has his hand up. Go ahead, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you
Very
doing this
well.
morning? And congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I was showing that person, another person, the mining pool in the back. I had a question about, does it have a place where it shows daily earnings? I've just been showing them the difference between unused each day. Do we have such a chart?
Yeah, it's not a chart because one of the things that they don't want this thing to be considered any form of an investment. So they don't ever put any information out that promises any kind of rate of return.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that's in the back office that everybody might want to take a look at here, let me see if I can pull it up here under a compensation plan. And this, everybody should print one of these out and take a look at it because it is extensive. They've done a great job. The guys that put this whole thing together are getting paid the same way we are. They didn't enrich themselves. They wanted everybody to profit. In fact, that's a very important point you need to understand about this. They never intended for this thing to get this big, but it just grew because this was all friends and family that put this thing together when they came up with the idea. And that's who they went to. And they actually own an arbitrator, a robot trader, and an arbitration system that was very profitable. It had been running for 4 years, and they saw it. And they thought they would give it a shot, but then they realized that people could lose money And one of the guys that started this whole program says, you know what, we're not doing anything that's going to lose money, because these are our families and our friends, and we want to make sure nobody loses any money here. So while I would want to play with it, they just don't want to put it out there, because they want to be very conservative, because it's family. And that's the same thing they tell us to do. Just go talk to your friends and family and bring them in here, because that's what we want. All right, right here it says important. Important. We do not guarantee any profits. There is no daily ROI, return on investment percentage, for mining. Do not speculate on Bitcoin by trading it. When purchasing a share, you are taking all the risk and reward for whatever happens over the 1,000 days of your mining contract. And as we know, when you're doing the repurchases, it'll go on forever. The market is very volatile, and you should understand the risk and potential of losing your entire investment. That's just the way they do it. Now, that being said, what happens is when you can see the screen, right, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. When you click over here on the mining wallet, you can get a lot of inferral out of it. Now, I'm putting everything back into shares. You see that? All these repurchases?
Correct. Yeah,
I'm
I see.
doing that because it really accelerates your mining down the road. Now, if I wasn't, then total earnings right now is 0.03524. The reason it looks low there is because I quit showing earnings, because I'm buying partial shares. Okay? So it shows the repurchases that we're buying, and then every time you get paid, there will be a number that shows up right here, the part that's not used, and it's only a portion of the mining. So you kind of have to infer what the totals are.
Okay, that's what I was showing them. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you don't see, these are automatically, the system runs, you are required, your repurchase minimum is 50% on the first pool, 50% of the mining amount. So if you get paid an amount in your back office, and what does that look like? When you go to the Bitcoin pool, let me see if I can bring up one here. Yeah, let me do this. You sign out of here. Yeah, let's go to a different one. Let's go maybe the Happy Bitcoin 7 for the heck of it. And now I'm going to this mining. I want to go to the BTC pool. All right, now I'm scrolling down to look at the BTC pool. Now, this is doing nothing but mining, and we've got everything going back in. But when we first started it, we didn't. You see this right here, this number?
Yes.
That was from pool 1. So I double that. That's what we got that day. Because 50% went back into repurchase and 50% was paid. And any difference that was taken out of that went into the operation. Paid for the expenses. So, but you can't see the whole thing. Okay.
So you're just in your wallet there?
This is in the wallet.
Bitcoin wallet?
Yeah. But see, when you're doing repurchases, this never shows up over here, because it's automatically going into the repurchase of the different shares, additional shares.
Okay, I've been there. I've seen that. Okay.
Okay. But I don't know how to tell what the expense level is. So they take the expenses out, and then half goes to here in the wallet and half goes to repurchase.
Okay.
Because that's why they have no debt. They've got, I didn't go over there today, but in this presentation, but they've got something like, $38 million in the bank for operations, 50 million a month.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot.
Well, yeah. And everybody's just happy as peaches because of the way this thing is going.
Okay.
And people are joining like gangbusters.
So this would also show your commissions then when you bring in a position, someone buys a pool?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Everything you get to see everything, because you can actually even sort it out. So for example, let's say you want to show mining earnings. There they are. You want to show your level up commissions. You want to show the infinity commissions, the binary commissions, right? It's all listed.
Oh, okay.
You can sort it, and then you can sort it by date.
That's another question. If you have just a mining pool 1 position and you bring someone along for a founder, you receive commissions on all 3?
Yeah, watch. Here's what happens. You see this under commissions?
Oh, okay.
It says commissions held.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, again, this is a networking program, but it's not a network marketing company.
Gotcha.
So if somebody comes on and they're in pool number 1 and they refer somebody else and they buy a founder position, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll get commissions paid on pool number 1 because he's got pool number 1. But those commissions will not be paid to him until he acquires pool 2 and 3. They'll be held right here for him. He doesn't lose them.
Which is fantastic. Nobody else ever does that.
They don't
Usually,
go to any upline.
Yeah, usually it all rolls up to somebody above you, but this is brilliant. Brilliant.
Now,
they just hold them for you until
those
you're ready.
commissions can be used to acquire the pools.
Ah, okay. For someone else also?
Yes.
If you want to give them away, I mean, yeah.
See up there where it says pay it forward? You can do that.
Well, can you, because you got pay it forward and transfer, I've done that before. Can you also use that for shopping partials? Buy partial shares? Okay.
Yes, because what you do is you go up to shop, and you can buy partial shares.
Ah, okay.
Now what happens is when that opens up down here, you put in the amount that you want to use for BTC, and you select the mining pool that you want to buy a partial share in, and you can buy a partial share on any one of them.
Oh, you can? Even if you have 0, that could start you towards it?
Right. See,
okay.
that's what it tells you in here. Now, that it'll ask you where do you want to pay for that from. So you have an internal wallet, because when you look at the wallets, I think I'm in here. Where am I at now? No, I'm in the shop. Let me go to wallets, back at wallets again. Let's go to wallet, Bitcoin wallet. And we'll scroll down here. We just did this last night for a guy. He had extra coin that he needs to apply. So you see this deposit? You can actually insert coin in there.
Okay.
You can send USD, you can send whatever value you want to send into an internal wallet and hold it. So you can accumulate funds, and then you can
Gotcha.
use that internal wallet to pay for your partial shares or whatever. So if somebody comes on and let's say they got $900, they can buy the pool
Online.
right?
Okay.
And then what you do is you turn around and you transfer the other $400 into this deposit account.
Okay.
Now you
Actually,
can use
it must
to
be Bitcoin, John.
I know, but they see it says enter total amount in USD.
Yeah, you put
That's
the
why I'm
USD value, but it
USD.
has to be Bitcoin.
That's why I'm using USD amounts. It's
Got
supposed to be from your Bitcoin wallet, but it's USD amounts.
Excellent.
That's because they price it in dollars. So like, for example, when we've had this run up in pricing on the Bitcoin, the pool deposit didn't change. It still stays at $500. It's still $1,000, whatever it is, because it doesn't look at pricing when you do mining. It just does the mining process and it generates the coin. The coin is whatever value it is. So somebody that gets a small amount of coin says, oh my God, can't I get more than that? I want to get more than that. Wait a minute. That little piece of coin you got right there might be worth $10,000 in a few years.
Or a few months.
A few months. I pull out the rate it's going. I mean, it's really moving along. That's because the whole world is rushing to Bitcoin.
Outstanding. Okay. Terrific. Well, that's, like Kathy just said, that's pretty amazing that they hold it so you don't lose anything as you're growing and getting your position up. That encourages a lot of people, I would think.
Yeah, it takes a while for people to understand, which is what they have here. Once you really begin to wrap your head around this thing, people become raving ambassadors of this program.
That's what we realized. Oh, terrific. Thanks a bunch.
You bet. Thanks for being here.
Sure.
Okay, that should take care of everybody unless somebody else has something.
I do. I'm just thinking, due to the holiday weekend, we will resume our webinars again Monday at 6 p.m.
That's the holiday, isn't it?
Well, we have a long holiday weekend, and usually we do one on Sunday. So are we doing one on Sunday?
No.
Okay.
And not on Labor Day either.
On Monday at 6 p.m.
It's Labor Day.
Okay.
Tuesday. We'll resume on Tuesday.
Zoom on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Doesn't
Okay.
mean we won't be here to help people and work.
Right, right. So if you need anything, just contact us and we'll be happy to do three-ways or help you in any way we can. And thank you, Flavio, for being with us. And please come back again.
Thank you
Mariah.
so much.
Yes. Do you have any questions?
No, at the moment, I've been following all the things that have been said. So thank you for the moment. Thank you
So
so much.
we
Yeah.
are really happy to have you with us today.
Be sure to go to the website we gave you because there's another presentation there, and there is also a presentation by Andreas Montanov.
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Thank
Our
you.
webinar schedule is also posted there too. So, and then if you have any questions, you can contact us or Mariah. I'll be happy to help you.
Sure. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Hey,
Coming over there.
this is Mike again.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating. I see that next payout at the top. You might
Right.
just tell people what that is. I found that fascinating.
Oh, yeah. The countdown every day, they will let you know when they're going to make their commission run. And so I run over here and I wait and I wait and I wait and they do the commission run and it flips back to 24 and it starts counting down again, like 23, 59, all that kind of stuff.
24 hours. Yep.
I thought they would pay you instantly. They don't. It takes a while to run the commissions and get them paid in. So it ends up being paid. You get paid through the day.
I think you pointed out earlier that's a good savings and makes them more profitable and us more profitable. Not doing that like that. I mean,
Yeah, and I
take the
noticed
time to do it.
they some of these things they packaged it. For example, we were looking at one of the accounts and it was the 31st, and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff come in, but it was dated 8/26. So they're kind of batching it a little bit now.
Okay. Does that include the cycling? Does that happen on the 24-hour cycle?
No, that's instant.
That is instant.
That comes
okay.
up right off the bat. There's a bunch of things that get paid just as soon as they happen.
So then it's just a matter of placing a person. If that kicks you in, boom, you've got that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I haven't. Okay.
Yeah, you get a small percentage of the membership fee, which will show up on the same day. And
Was that right? I didn't realize that. I thought that 100% went to the company.
No, you can see this in your commission levels back there, in your commission run, in the Bitcoin wallet. It'll have the username of the person that paid it.
On the $99. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't notice that.
It won't say $99. You just see a payment from username and a small percentage.
Oh, okay.
They add up. We're
Yeah.
pretty amazed. Just from what we've done already, we've done. I know just on 3 accounts that we have, we've done in excess of 7.5 coin already.
Wow. Wow.
And we're reinvesting. So
Yeah.
I'm pleased. I'm very happy. If this is any indication, I mean, I'm getting whole coins. You mean a coin that could be worth, several $100,000? I mean,
yeah.
Boom.
Accumulate as much of this as you can. And this sounds like the great program for it.
It's the little engine that could, and it's the tortoise and the hare, right?
Okay.
That's it. That's what it does.
Very powerful. Really is.
And the nice thing is we're getting to know people all over the world. I mean, we're going to be able to enjoy our Bitcoin and go travel around and see all these people.
That'd be a nice benefit. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to go someplace where you know somebody.
Mm-hmm. True. Good point. Oh, great presentation.
Thank you, Mike, as always.
All right.
You're always nice to me about it. They're not that great. They're okay.
No, you have a good way of keeping it. Your voice enunciates quite clearly, and you go through the points clearly. I've always enjoyed it.
Feels like I'm stuttering all the time. I don't know why, but it does.
All righty. Well, you're not. You do a great job.
All right.
We appreciate your time, John. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay. Well, if that's it, let's wrap it up. We all have our days to go enjoy, and you guys have a very blessed long weekend. Be safe and be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
We need to control sound. We could be playing Be Happy right here,
Okay. Well, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Just for you.
See you all
All
later.
right.
Bye.
Take care, and remember, we're here. Just get in contact with us if you guys have any questions or need any help. We'll be here.
Terrific.
God bless
Thanks,
you guys. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.